Yo, the second Jasmine Crockett cracked that laugh, the whole damn internet froze. You could feel the air change, like the whole room just stopped breathing. One laugh, just one, and this Republican dude went from running the room to running out of composure. Twitter lit up, YouTube clips exploded, and people were replaying that same 5-second smirk like it was the Zapruder film. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. That laugh didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't random. It was the result of a build-up that was straight-up chaos, and the setup behind it? Man, it's wild. Picture this. The Oversight Committee hearing is already tense. Cameras rolling, mics hot, and every politician in that room trying to get their next viral moment. The Republican firebrand jumps in, loud, confident, thinking he's about to own the spotlight. You can see it in his face. He's not here to debate, he's here to perform. The kind of guy who believes the louder he yells, the more right he is. He starts going off, throwing jabs, cutting people off. And Jasmine? She's just sitting there, calm, collected. That poker face that drives egos insane. And that's what made it so powerful, the contrast. One side losing control, the other side chilling like it's just another Tuesday. She didn't flinch, didn't break eye contact. You could almost see her thinking, this is what I signed up for? This circus? Every time he got louder, she got calmer. Every time he leaned in, she leaned back. It was like watching a storm screaming at a mountain. Then comes the moment. The Republican slams his hand down, demands order, voice cracking under the weight of his own frustration. And Crockett? She lets out that laugh. Not a big one, not a mocking one, just a subtle, quiet laugh. Like she's saying without words, "You're proving my point right now." That laugh hits harder than any rebuttal could have. It's not just humor, it's dominance, it's control. It's that moment when your opponent realizes he's already lost the room. And man, the reaction was instant. You can hear it in the air, that awkward silence that follows when someone realizes they just embarrassed themselves on live TV. The guy looks around like he's waiting for backup, but nobody's got his back. The audience isn't with him anymore. Even his own side looks uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Crockett? She's just sitting there, half smile, unbothered. That's power. That's presence. Online? Oh, it was game over. Within minutes, hashtags started flying. Hashtag Crockett laugh, hashtag GOP meltdown, hashtag she did not flinch. Comment sections were like digital arenas. People were breaking down her body language, the smirk, the timing, the tone. Some said she disrespected him, others said she exposed him. But everyone agreed on one thing. That laugh flipped the energy. It was like watching the calmest mic drop in political history. And here's where it gets even crazier. That moment wasn't just a meme, it became a mirror. People started arguing not just about what happened, but what it meant. The left saw poise, the right saw provocation, and the middle saw the same thing we all did. Someone losing their cool because they couldn't handle composure. It was ego versus elegance, and elegance won. The wildest part? Crockett didn't even have to speak. She let his meltdown be her argument. That's the kind of moment that rewires the power dynamic, when silence and a smile say more than 1,000 talking points. It's the political version of a chess player moving one pawn and watching the other side crumble. And that's why this clip hits so hard. It's not just another viral shouting match. It's a reminder that in American politics right now, noise gets attention, but control wins the crowd. Crockett understood that better than anyone in that room. She knew when to let emotion burn itself out and when to let silence do the talking. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. That laugh wasn't just the end of a meltdown. It was the start of something bigger. Because what went down before that laugh, that's where the real story begins. The build-up, the spark, the moment that lit the fuse and pushed that hearing straight into viral history. So to get it, we got to rewind all the way back to the second the fuse got lit.
Yo, this wasn't just politics. This was ego on fire, live on national TV. You ever watch somebody walk into a hearing thinking they're the main character and then forget it's being broadcast coast to coast? That's exactly what happened here. The fuse didn't just light itself. It was built, stacked, and sparked by pure arrogance. The room's already tense. You can hear the shuffle of papers, the mic feedback, that awkward fake calm before the storm. Then this Republican dude jumps in like he's auditioning for a reality show. He cuts in, interrupts, throws jabs at everyone like he's there to settle personal beef, not policy. You know that energy, the "I'm right, you're irrelevant" vibe, the kind that fills a room before it burns it down. Jasmine Crockett's just sitting there, though, calm, locked in, giving him that side eye that every American recognizes, the "are you done yet" look. She doesn't say a word, but her silence is loud. Her stillness feels heavy. You can see the Republican getting more and more frustrated, like her calmness is gasoline on his fire. Every second she doesn't react, he gets louder, sharper, sloppier. It's that classic oversight committee chaos, one person trying to sound strong and ending up sounding shook. And here's where it gets emotional. This isn't just a clash of opinions, it's pride versus patience. She's been here before. She's dealt with this energy before. You can feel it, that quiet frustration every woman in politics knows too well. When they call you emotional, but lose it themselves the second you don't play their game. That double standard hits hard. The tension's not just in the words, it's in the body language, the tone, the pauses that say more than the shouting ever could. Then comes the shift. He interrupts again, sharper this time. He thinks he's pushing her buttons, but he's really proving her point. You can almost hear the thought running through the audience. Man, does he even realize how bad this looks? Cameras zoom in, that tight frame on his face, red, frustrated, desperate for control, and every second, Crockett's calm becomes more magnetic. It's the kind of calm that says, "You're digging your own hole, and I'm just here to watch." People at home can feel it, that crackling electricity through the screen. The chat's blowing up, the Twitter threads are forming, and folks are already clipping the moment before it's even over. Because everybody knows what's coming. When tension builds this high, it's just waiting for one spark, one word, one look to make it explode. And she knows it too. Crockett's not reacting out of emotion. She's observing, waiting, watching. Because sometimes in politics, the smartest move is to let your opponent hand you their downfall on a silver platter. And right now, that platter's getting heavy. The Republican doubles down again, voice rising, trying to reclaim control. He says something he thinks is clever, but it lands wrong, real wrong. That's the moment you feel the crowd shift. You can literally sense it through the screen. The air goes tight, people lean forward, and you know the clip's about to go viral. It's the "oh no he didn't" moment that every political junkie waits for. And Crockett, still calm, still quiet. She doesn't give him the reaction he wants. Instead, she gives him something far worse, a look. Just one sharp, knowing look that hits harder than any words could. It's that "I see you and everyone else does too" kind of look that instantly flips the power dynamic. He feels it. You can tell. His voice wavers, his face changes. He's lost control of the moment and he knows it. That's the beauty of composure. It exposes chaos without ever raising a hand. And right there, in that instant, the fuse hits its final spark. The hearing's no longer about policy. It's about pride, image, ego. It's about a man realizing on live TV that his shouting match turned into a masterclass on restraint. And the wild part? That's not even the explosion yet, because what comes next, that laugh, that single perfectly timed laugh, turns this slow burn into a full-blown viral inferno. The moment that flips everything. The moment that'll be replayed, clipped, and analyzed across every political feed in America. So buckle up, because we're not at the meltdown yet. That part's coming fast. And when it hits, you'll see exactly how one laugh can silence an entire room. Next up, the outburst heard across the aisle.
You ever watch somebody lose it so bad on live TV they forget the whole damn country's watching? Yeah, that's exactly what went down here. This was the moment the tension snapped, the fuse hit the powder, and the oversight committee turned into a straight-up meltdown stage. You could almost feel it building, like a slow train wreck you can't look away from. Cameras rolling, mics hot, and the entire internet just waiting for someone to slip. The Republican's voice hits that breaking point. You know that shaky tone people get when anger turns into desperation? His face gets red, his hands start waving like he's trying to physically grab control of the room, but it's already gone. Every shout echoes harder than the last. You can hear chairs shuffle, staffers looking down, pretending not to see it happening.
He's not debating anymore. He's unraveling. And right there, in the middle of that chaos, Jasmine Crockett doesn't move. She's still, calm, dead quiet. Her eyes lock straight on him, like she's studying the collapse in real time. You can see that microsmirk forming, not mockery, not disrespect, just recognition. That silent, you just prove my point kind of energy. It's wild because you realize she's not fighting for control. She already has it. Now let's break that second down, frame by frame. His voice spikes, he slams the table, and the room gasps. You can almost hear the "oh" from the background. That's the exact second everything flips. It's the sound of authority cracking under its own noise. The louder he gets, the smaller he seems. It's not confidence anymore, it's panic disguised as passion. Then comes the silence. A beat. Just 1 second where nobody moves, nobody speaks. And in that silence, Crockett lets out that laugh. That one quiet, knowing laugh that cuts through the air like a blade. It's not loud, it's not mean, it's surgical. The kind of laugh that says you're done without saying a word. And the reaction? Instant. You can feel the shift through the camera lens. The guy freezes mid-sentence like his brain just short-circuited from embarrassment. The whole room tilts. Even people behind him start smirking. That laugh wasn't a reaction. It was a reversal. The power in that space flipped, and he knew it. It's wild how something so small, a laugh, can carry that much weight. That's what composure does. In a sea of noise, calm becomes a weapon. Crockett didn't need to shout back. Her laugh hit harder than any rebuttal ever could. It exposed what words couldn't, that he was emotionally done. Social media went nuclear. Within minutes, clips were everywhere. Captions like, "Crockett didn't say a word and still won the debate." One tweet said, "That laugh was louder than his whole argument." And you know what? They were right. People weren't replaying his speech. They were replaying her silence. Even commentators started breaking it down like it was a boxing match replay. Slow-motion shots of her smirk, zoom-ins on his red face, replays of that moment right before the laugh. It became less about what was said and more about what was felt. Because that's what makes viral politics tick now. Emotion, tension, and timing. And this moment had all three on full display. But here's what most folks missed. That laugh wasn't random. It wasn't her losing it. It was precision. A tactical pause. The kind of instinct you only develop when you've been underestimated long enough to turn patience into power. That's what makes it dangerous. It's not just a laugh, it's a statement. A reminder that sometimes being unshaken is the ultimate comeback. You can see it on his face as it hits him, the realization that he just turned himself into the headline. Not because of what he said, but because of how she reacted. Or didn't. It's poetic in a way. He walked in trying to dominate, but ended up giving her the moment everyone would remember. And that's where the whole story flips, because from this second on, it's not about him anymore. It's about her. The laugh becomes the symbol. Calm under fire, strength without shouting, control without chaos. The internet crowned it instantly, the laugh that shut down Congress. But here's the kicker. That laugh wasn't just power. It was strategy. You'll see what I mean, because what comes next, it proves Crockett wasn't just reacting. She was running the whole psychological game. And once you see the breakdown, you'll never look at that moment the same way again. Next up, the power of the laugh.
Real talk. Sometimes the loudest mic drop isn't words. It's silence. Or in this case, one savage laugh. The kind of laugh that doesn't just fill a room, it owns it. You could feel it, man. The second Jasmine Crockett laughed, the whole energy flipped like someone hit a light switch in that hearing. The noise stopped, the tension froze, and that Republican who'd been screaming minutes ago, he suddenly looked like he didn't know where to put his hands. That laugh wasn't just emotion, it was control. Cold, clean control. See, here's what most people miss. Laughter isn't weakness. In high-stress moments, it's dominance in disguise. When someone loses their temper, they hand over their power. But when you laugh, you take it back. Crockett didn't argue, didn't clap back.
She smiled. That's psychological warfare on national TV, because that one move told every viewer watching at home, I'm not fazed. You can't shake me. Let's break that down. Aggression thrives on reaction. The second you yell back, it wins. But Crockett flipped the script. She disarmed the aggression not by fighting it, but by exposing it. Her laugh turned his outburst from righteous anger into emotional meltdown. It reframed the narrative in real time, and that's a skill very few politicians have mastered. Think about it. We've seen this movie before. AOC getting yelled over and calmly responding with logic. Kamala Harris letting opponents run out of steam before delivering one surgical line. Pelosi clapping back with a side smirk that turned into a meme. It's a pattern. Calm composure in chaos always wins. It's not just politics, it's human psychology. The quieter you are when someone's losing it, the more powerful you look. And that's what Crockett nailed perfectly. Her laugh wasn't random, it was instinct, honed from every time she's been talked over, underestimated, or dismissed. You could see years of experience in that 1 second. That was the sound of someone saying, I've seen this act before, and it doesn't scare me. Now here's the FOMO kicker. Most people think that laugh was just a reaction. Nah, look closer, listen deeper. The real power move wasn't the laugh itself, it was the timing. She waited for the exact millisecond he thought he had control. That's when she dropped it. The timing was so surgical, it felt like a punchline, except she wasn't joking. That was the turning point where the whole audience's perception changed without a single word being spoken. And the internet felt it. People didn't just watch that clip, they felt it in their gut. Comments flooding in. That laugh said everything. You could hear confidence in that silence. She ended him without even trying. Folks weren't talking about policy or politics anymore. They were talking about presence, about composure, about the way Crockett held the room like a pro boxer, dodging a swing and smiling mid-fight. Because that's exactly what it was. Psychological sparring. He threw chaos, she threw calm. He yelled for attention, she won it by doing nothing. That's not luck, that's control. And that control became contagious. Once that laugh hit, every voice in that room shifted. People leaned in. The energy belonged to her now. And the brilliance of it all, Crockett knew exactly what she was doing. That laugh wasn't just for the committee. It was for the cameras, for the viewers at home, for the millions who've seen this kind of dynamic play out before. She understood the viral game better than anyone in that room. And the second she laughed, she turned that moment into a message. Because that's what it was, a message, a warning shot to every loud performative politician who confuses volume with strength. Her laugh said, if this is your best shot, I'm still standing. And that's why the clip blew up. It wasn't just funny, it was symbolic. It represented what so many people feel, that calm confidence beats fake outrage every single time. So the next time someone tells you laughter is not power, remember this moment. It wasn't the words that made it viral, it was the silence between them. And for the people who blinked and missed it, trust me, that's where the real story hides. Because what happened after this laugh? That's when the internet completely flipped. Overnight, Crockett went from being another congresswoman in a tense hearing to a symbol of composure under fire. You're about to see exactly how one laugh rewrote the headlines and why America couldn't stop talking about it. Next up, the internet verdict. By the time this hit Twitter, it was over. Memes dropped, clips blew up, even late-night shows couldn't resist. You know it's real when something political breaks out of C-SPAN and lands straight into pop culture. Within hours, Jasmine Crockett's laugh wasn't just a clip, it was a whole movement. The internet crowned it the moment of the week, and the memes, savage. Edits of her laughing over dramatic music, slow-mos with captions like, when you know you've already won. It was everywhere. TikTok, Instagram Reels, even reaction compilations on YouTube pulling 500,000 views overnight. The hashtags told the story. Hashtag Crockett laugh, hashtag GOP meltdown, hashtag calm wins. That's how you know it hit a nerve.
Twitter threads turned into full-blown debates, left, right, and everyone in between, projecting their own emotions onto that one tiny moment. To some, it was confidence under fire. To others, it was disrespect. But to everyone watching, it was personal. It wasn't just about her laugh. It was about the feeling that we've all been there before, sitting calm while someone else completely loses it. That's what made it viral. Relatability mixed with pure chaos. Comment sections started turning into mini battlegrounds. Conservatives were furious, calling it arrogance, claiming the laugh proved bias. Liberals fired back, calling it composure, strength, control. But here's the crazy part. Nobody was talking about politics anymore. This wasn't about politics, it was about psychology. It was about power dynamics. And that's when you know a viral moment's hit gold, when it stops being about what happened and starts being about what people feel happened. Think about it. Every viewer saw a reflection of themselves in that clip. People who've ever been talked over, underestimated, or dismissed. They saw Jasmine and thought, finally, someone who doesn't lose her cool. Meanwhile, folks who've ever felt mocked or outnumbered, they saw that same laugh as disrespect, like the system laughing back at them. One viral clip turned into a nationwide mirror, showing exactly how divided America is, not just politically, but emotionally. That's the wildest thing about the internet. It doesn't just spread moments, it amplifies emotion. A laugh becomes a battle cry, a smirk becomes a headline, and suddenly millions of people are fighting over what it meant. 1 second of composure becomes a week-long news cycle. Every news anchor's got a take, every podcast has a theory, and every comment section is a war zone. That's the new age of politics. Perception over substance, vibes over facts. Even late-night talk shows jumped in. Monologues ran clips with punchlines like, "When you laugh in Congress, but it sounds like therapy." Meme pages posted her face with captions like, "When you've already mentally clocked out of the argument." It wasn't mean-spirited, it was iconic. Crockett's laugh went from reaction to brand. She didn't plan it, but overnight she became the face of composure culture. And the FOMO hit hard. People who missed the live hearing rushed to see the clip because everyone online was talking about that laugh. The post said, "You gotta see this. Wait till you hit the 722 mark." She ended him without even trying. That curiosity spiral is what fuels virality now. You see enough people react, and suddenly you have to know what happened. It's like digital peer pressure, the internet's favorite drug. But underneath the memes, something deeper was happening. For a lot of Americans, this wasn't just entertainment, it was therapy. It gave people an outlet, a laugh of their own, a moment of control in a chaotic world. Because that's what we crave now, moments that make us feel like calm can still win, even when everything else feels out of control. And that's what makes this moment so powerful. It wasn't just a political exchange, it was a cultural snapshot. Proof that in today's America, emotion drives everything. One laugh didn't just break the internet, it revealed exactly where the country's headspace is, tired of shouting, craving calm, and desperate for someone who doesn't crack under pressure. But here's the twist. This moment isn't just about one laugh, it's about where American politics is heading next. Because if this is what goes viral now, calm beating chaos, composure beating noise, then the whole game's changing. And the next part? That's where it all comes full circle. Next up, the bigger picture, why this moment matters.
This wasn't just a viral clip, it was a snapshot of what politics has become. Outrageous theater, calm as power. That's the real takeaway from Jasmine Crockett's laugh. In a world where everyone's yelling over each other, that moment hit different because she didn't raise her voice. She raised the energy. One laugh cut through all the noise and reminded America that control is louder than chaos. Think about how wild that is. We're living in an era where going viral matters more than being right, where politics looks more like a WWE promo than a policy debate. Every headline's built for shock value, every moment's clipped for views. But then, in the middle of that circus, one congresswoman just laughed, and the whole show stopped. That's power. Not the kind that screams, but the kind that stings. That's the bigger picture. It's not just about Jasmine Crockett or that Republican meltdown. It's about how emotion runs the show now. Outrage gets clicks, anger drives engagement, but calm wins hearts. Her laugh flipped the whole formula. For years, the loudest voice in the room was seen as the strongest, but this time, the quietest one ended up owning the narrative. That's the shift happening in real time. Power through composure. And let's be real, women like Crockett are rewriting how authority looks in Congress. She didn't just defend herself, she redefined the tone. No screaming, no chaos, just pure presence. The same way AOC drops logic bombs with a smile, or how Kamala handles pushback without breaking stride, it's a new kind of political strength, one that says, I don't need to shout to dominate. Emotionally, that moment hit every viewer differently. Some felt pride, others felt discomfort. But deep down, everyone recognized authenticity. It wasn't scripted, it wasn't staged, it was human. That's why it stuck. We're tired of the fakes, the rehearsed speeches, the media spin. One real, unfiltered reaction felt like a breath of truth in a sea of noise. And here's the irony. The more viral it got, the more people forgot what the argument was even about. Nobody remembers the policy point or the hearing topic. They remember the laugh. That's the state of American politics in 2025. Moments beat messages. Vibes beat facts. The internet doesn't crown winners based on who's right. It crowns whoever makes you feel something. And Jasmine, she made the whole nation feel it. But beyond all the memes and headlines, there's something deeper, a message hiding in plain sight. Composure wins in chaos. When everyone else loses their temper, staying grounded is the ultimate clapback. Her laugh wasn't disrespect, it was strategy. It exposed how fragile outrage can be. It reminded us that sometimes the best way to win an argument is not to have it at all. So yeah, the clip's funny, the reactions are gold, but when history looks back, this might be one of those small moments that said a lot about who we are right now. Divided, wired for outrage, yet still craving grace under pressure. That's what made this moment bigger than politics. It was a mirror held up to America, showing both its chaos and its calm in one split second. So next time someone loses it on live TV, remember this laugh, because it wasn't just funny, it was historic. And trust me, you're gonna want to see what happened the next time she faced them, because if you thought this meltdown was bad, the sequel makes it look tame.